Well, in the news update for May the 12th, 2018, Saturday period. Well, as you know, we're going to have real warm temperatures today and tomorrow. Going to be in a heat wave for the eastern coast. Much of the eastern coast will experience warmer than normal temperatures all the way through Monday. A chance of thunder showers and thunderstorms are likely all the way starting on Sunday all the way through Thursday of next week. Meanwhile, in other news stories, Salmonella outbreak on eggs that we reported to a while back seems to be picking up steam, and more people are getting sick due to salmonella due to eggs. Check your eggs. If they smell funny, do not use them or use them in recipes or cook them. Throw them away or return them back to the supermarket or grocery where you got them. Exchange them for another dozen of eggs where you buy them, because salmonella outbreak is in eggs. Also, the E. coli, where the romaine lettuce that was grown in Yuma, Arizona, still continues. It has made over 139 people sick, and one person died out of that due to E. coli bacteria. From the Health Center CDC agency says that they feel that the E. coli will run its course within another week or two, and these cases should dwindle or become no more. So if you have bought any romaine lettuce, make sure you know the source. If it says Yuma, Arizona, do not buy that lettuce if it's romaine lettuce. In other news, also computer skimmers have been caught. Hackers they were nationalists that were captured and brought into custody in Henrico County, Virginia. They have put skimmers on various ATMs in multiple states: in Florida, in Henrico County, also in Chesterfield County, and also even at a couple Virginia Union banks. See if your identity has been compromised. If you've gone to any of these bank ATM machines for skimmer, these people were caught and have been arrested and brought into custody. Make sure that your identity has not been compromised due to this freak act of crime. They believe that this is a large organized crime syndicate ring that is up and down the East Coast and maybe throughout the rest of the country and other places of the world. They may have ties to that as a bigger syndicate ring of people, and these people are well organized and have been probably doing this for quite some time. As more people are getting caught and captured due to this identity ATM stealing, skimming crime. Good job to the people that have caught on to it and was able to bring them to justice where they belong, and out there in custody, these two nationalists who lived in Glenside in Henrico County is where they live, but yet they were from overseas. So they must have been the big bosses or the organizers of this ring, and we might have got two of them in custody because of this recent developments. Also, if you plan to go outside, make sure you drink plenty of water today and tomorrow, as it's going to be hot, and make sure you do all your stuff in the morning, and it's the coolest part of the day, as they say, and try to get most of your stuff done during that time period so you don't get overheated or become heat exhaustion or have heat stroke. Many people get that today, especially the elderly. If you have fair skin, make sure you put sunscreen on the vulnerable areas like your nose, your forehead, your cheeks, and your around your face and your arms. And make sure you keep them. Make sure it's SP30 AB or higher protected when you go outside. Just as a warning and a friendly reminder from all of us here at Love FM and YouTube. We have also, remember tomorrow is Valentine's Day. That already come and gone. But it's Mother's Day tomorrow. Make sure you take time to think about your beautiful or lovely mother if she's still alive. Maybe if she's not alive, you can go by, visit her grave, or visit where you dumped her ashes. And maybe, or if you have her urn, maybe you can say a little prayer and tell God how you miss your mother and how you appreciated her when she was alive. If she is alive, however, you might want to do something with her tomorrow. Take her out for lunch. That's what I plan to do. And after church. And or get her a nice card, or kind of just get her some flowers and have it mailed to her. They love flowers. All women love flowers. I don't know any woman in the world that doesn't like flowers, because they do. And Also, I want to give you an update on the progress here. Well, the Mr. Piper came out here, and they are starting to do the work that they have outlined. I have to give an update on that because I did talk about it. So I want to make sure we give an update so HUD has a progress report. And if Mr. Piper is watching us, I want to make sure that he knows that things are underway here at Harbor Square, and that they are doing a good job, and they fixed the gutter on Building 4, and they are actually working on other things around the property here, which is good. And I want to give an update on that because I did say that, and that's everything seems to be going from the meeting that we had from April 19th. Everything seems to be going in that direction thus far. And just to let you know, just keep you in the loop, let you know what's going on here. And also, I don't know, if you're new and you're listening to our channel, have you found a church yet? Have you thought about a church? I mean, are you Baptist? Are you looking for a church and you live in Mechanicsville? Well, Broadus Memorial Baptist is a good church. Let you know, a really friendly, warm church. I can tell you because I go there. I'm not selling it. It's not a commercial. It's just a friendly advertisement. If you're looking for a real friendly, alive church, somewhere where you want to go, where you feel welcome, where you feel accepted, and where you feel a part, then Broadus Memorial is the place, Baptist Church. It's in Mechanicsville Road, located off of Pole Green Road. It's a real nice place. We'd love to have you there for Sunday morning worship. And also, if you're looking for a Church of Christ church, there's a couple of churches to which you could probably find a place to go. A couple of Church of Christs I would recommend would be Pole Green Church of Christ, if you're a Church of Christ believer. Another one would be Gethsemane Church of Christ. That's out by West Store. That's near Oak Hill Campgrounds. If you're willing to go out that way, if you're out in that area, that'd be a good place to go because that'd be closer to where you live in your geographical area. If you're looking for Mechanicsville Church of Christ, that's located off Meadowbridge Road. That's a good church too. And we'd love to have you be a part of our family. And a couple of Baptist churches, Fairmount Baptist Church too, that's located in Richmond. That's another good church to go to. They welcome you all. It doesn't matter what color you are. Everybody welcomes everyone because Jesus welcomes everyone. And it doesn't matter what color you are to go to any church. Should not be, at least anyway. Because Jesus talked to all people. He didn't just talk to a certain race and that was it. He started off with the Jews, but now he talks to everyone. And that's the kind of, we're under that covenant now. We're all Gentiles, really. And the Jews he started off with, but now he talks to everyone special. As long as they want to have a special relationship with him, then you become the same like a Jew. But we're all part of that Israel's spiritual reign of people, whether we're black or white, yellow or red or orange or whatever color God made you. God loves everybody, and he don't care about your color. He doesn't care about your past either. Just as long as you have learned from it and you repent from it and overcome it. That's the main thing. And that's only between you and God, no one else. You know, other people like to put their nose where it don't belong a lot of times. But they do. That's shamefully so. They don't understand how forgiveness works in the Bible. That's why a lot of people do it. But just bear in mind that you are a child of God and God has forgiven you. And it doesn't matter what all these other hearsay or nayers have to say because they're not God. And they may have written you off to hell, but God hasn't. So if you have done crime, God gives you a second chance. God gives you a lot more chances than 3 chances. That's a good thing. But in the system, you only get 3. 3 strikes and you're out, as they call it. It's not a football game. When you get the 3rd strike, you're in jail for the rest of your life, or probably for as long as you can be in there without any youthfulness, at least anyway. So think about, even if you've done crime, if you learned your lesson, you did some time, it's okay. Like I always say to the prisoners there at Pamunkey Jail, think about, you did something, you messed up, you did break and entering, maybe you hit someone, maybe you assaulted someone, maybe you violated a protective order, maybe you have a temper problem, maybe you've done things in your past, but God has forgiven you, you've learned from it, and you're a better person now. That's why you're being you're going through rehabilitation. And then you'll be rehabilitated, and once you get out, then you learn from that, so you don't come back to it. And don't go back to the crime once you get out. I know it's tempting to do that because it seems easier because that's all you know. Some cases, because some people that's what they do, but a lot of people they learn the lesson, they don't. And there's a lot. There's I'm not going to say a lot of people, but some people really learn the lesson and don't go back to that kind of life that they got arrested for, or don't go in there and learn how to do it maybe better to where they don't get arrested, but they still end up getting arrested anyway because they're not as smart as they think they are. So there's two ways, the kind of people. They go in there and they learn and they don't do it again, or they go in there and learn how they think they can perfect their crime. So they think they won't get caught, but they still get arrested anyway. Just a more serious infraction. So you either learn from it or you don't, and you just come back to where you came, from whence you came. So hopefully you're not one of those people, but you learned and overcome it. That's the kind of people we want to send back out in society that have a record, but yet they learn from it, but yet they can still be gainfully employed and employable. If you're not a nonviolent offender, you can work in places like grocery stores, and you can work in places like ministries too, as long as it depends on what the offense of what you did, and that might determine whether you can be around kids or be around women or be around in certain situations. But if you haven't done those kinds of things, then they'll put you around those things because that's not why you got locked up, the nature of why you were locked up in the first place. So it just depends on what you did as your offense. It's what determines where they put you or place you, where you can work or where you can be employed or employable. But remember, stay reformed. Don't go back. I know it's so easy and tempting to go back to that because it's hard to find a job. It's hard to go through the system because maybe you forgot. Maybe you're an older person. Things have changed vastly a lot since you've been in prison. A lot of things have changed once you got back out. And it's very overwhelming because it's like a whole new different thing, because that's usually what happens when you've been in prison for a long time. A lot of things usually do change because in life when you're outside they change just like that, but at least you know what's going on. But when you're in prison you don't know, because when you come out it's totally different a lot of times. A lot of things are still the same too, but just remember to learn from your mistakes and don't repeat them. And that's what I always tell people in jail, in the ministry, because that's where you can really be used to teach people from your crime or your bad experience. Sometimes that could be a valuable ministry tool if you're going to be a preacher. Yeah, there's some people that were preachers that have gone to jail for crimes in their old life before they became a minister. They may have done some horrible crime, maybe breaking and entering, maybe they assaulted somebody, and yeah, even some people may have raped somebody, and it's horrible. But they're Christian, they're a different person, they're rehabilitated, they learned their lesson. So yeah, they're preaching. There's people preaching at churches that have done things like this, but that was their former life before they knew Christ. So of course, that's looked at and determined, when you go and when you get employment. So you think about that. You can't write everything off, because there are people that look at things not just the way the system looks at it, but look at the way God would look at it. So sometimes you can get a good job depending on who you talk to. That's the key. And if they understand and they have the eyes of Jesus, they may still give you a good opportunity. Don't blow it, because you may not get that again. So think about that. So anyway, this is just some things to talk about in general. We're packing. We're still packing. And the days are getting closer and closer to the U-Haul coming. They're getting closer and closer and closer every day. Our court case will be on the 15th at 1:30 at General District Court down at the Hanover County Courthouse. And of course it'll be at 1:30. And so if you want to come out there and be in support of us, me, I appreciate it. Need all the support I can get, because I don't have much here where I live. That's for sure. And the ones that do support me that are here are too scared to go, because they're afraid they'll have trouble with people here if they do, because they've been threatened by certain people. So that's not their fault, but that's the way politics roll, But like I said, hopefully you don't live here, and if you're not worried about all that stuff, because that's just a scare tactic really anyway. If they do anything, they could lose their place here. If they threaten somebody, you can get in trouble for that. And there are laws about that protect those who do things. And if you know what they are, then what they tell you, you don't have to listen. You can just Send it to the wind, because that's all it is just trying to scare you and trying to control you. Because they don't want you going, because they know they don't have a case to begin with. So that's why they send people over to threaten you. That's their minions, I call them. So don't be controlled over people like that. Just do what God tells you to do, because He's over all. He's over all this stuff anyway. He trumps the system of the world anyway. Remember, God is the one that's the victor. It's not the people that make the rules. It's God that does ultimately, and He trumps all this system of government and justice, because the justice here is man-made. Remember, His word trumps all law. That's what the Bible tells us. That's what it teaches. So He has the final say on what happens to you or me or anyone out here. No matter what you're in, whatever trial or storm you may be going through or entering into or coming out of. And persecution comes in all kinds of forms and fashions. So don't let that discourage you, because the devil likes to pick you apart. He likes to use whatever devices it's necessary in order to facilitate that, or at least try it. And a lot of people that are doing a lot of bad things to people, they got to examine themselves and go before the same God as you do. And if they're doing something wrong, well, then God will deal with them incorrectly. If they're being dishonest and lying and making things up, then God will deal with them, because that's what He does. And if you're in that kind of situation where someone's doing that to you, because I know a lot of Christians are being persecuted, not just me, so I'm not alone. I mean, there are a lot of us going through a lot of storms of all kinds out here, aren't it? And the storms they sometimes come in a big storm, like that big storm we had 2 days ago. They can come like that, and sometimes they come in a gradual often. But when it doesn't matter how they come, but you got to realize, the devil wants to destroy you any way he can, right? So he'll use people. He'll use people that are mentally ill. He'll use people that aren't really close to God or don't know God to interfere with you, because they want to try to destroy or manipulate people or try to be divisive, and they want to brag and rally in their schemes. And there's a verse in Ephesians that talks about that. Just avoid people that like to brag and boast in their schemes, because they're going to get their just reward in the end anyway. And you know what that is? That's hell. So allow them to rally and brag and associate in their little cliques and their little things, because their day's coming. They may have a little fun in the sun right now while it's out, but it won't be out too long for them. And God knows everything what's going on. God doesn't always move as fast as we would like. But that God, when He does something, He's impeccable, and He's always right on when He does His thing. So, if you have that going on, don't worry, it's just a little while, because God's going to take care of those who've done you wrong and wronged you and done all kinds of things and falsely said things against you in your name, ruined you business-wise, reputational-wise, and even as a person in the community where you live, so you couldn't do your ministry. And that may be your case too. I mean, that's mine. But, there's people that are like this. They're sociopaths. They're codependent. They don't have nothing else to do. They've got too much time on their hands. So these kinds of scheming kind of people need to get a job. So if they're able to do all this divisive stuff, then they should be able to, to get a job and be able to put all that energy in something work vocation. Because if they're able to do all this lying and pandering and panaceaing and going around, and doing all these things, then if they're able to do just that, then that they should be able to work, because they got all that highly function, and they got all that time to collect that Social Security check and sit back and watch and be nosy on everybody else. If they can do all that, then they should be able to hold a job, because apparently they got too much time, too much time on their hands. Too much time. That's why they're doing it. And if you live in some places like subsidized places, especially, it's going to be a lot worse, because that's the reason why. Because there's a lot of people that do that in those places all the more, because they don't have nothing else to do. See, so they become a nosy body, and they go after the people who they think are bad, when really they don't really know the person. A lot of them are just going on what people say anyway. Most of the time, it ain't even true. They're just going with the majority, because other people said something that was not even true anyway, but they're just going on it. Yeah, not even going to talking to the person, getting to know the person themselves, but yet they're just going on what was manufactured or said or simulated around. And that's how a lot of these things happen, these clicks and things in different places, and especially in subsidized communities. There's a lot of that going on, because I've talked to some other friends that I know that live in other subsidized communities similar to where I live, and they said the same thing. There's a lot of gossiping going on, a whole lot more. It's a lot worse than them, because a lot of them don't have nothing to do. And, I think they ought to put a lot of these people to work. There's a lot of them, if they can do all these schemes and do all these rallying and be able to do all these collaborative networks, and I think they should be working at a job part-time, because then they wouldn't have that energy to do it. See? That would solve that. That would get rid of the click, because they would be working, making some money, instead of sitting around here to just watch TV all day and dreaming up schemes to do to people. But anyway, it's just, whatever's going on with you, God's got it in control, because He does. He's a loving and merciful and just God, but He knows what's right and what's ultimately best. And I always say that. And it's true. And these people will get their reward. I mean, if anybody had any aid in getting somebody evicted over false grounds or reasonings or rumors, God's got something coming for them. And that's not a threat, that's true. Because if you did something wrong to somebody and you planned it or had something to do with the underdirty yellow the details, so he's going to take care of you. He's got something for you coming. So, like I said, nothing good. If you have to leave a place where you live and it wasn't your fault, it doesn't make the place look good after you move out, because the damage was done and the other people know about it. So, it's not you making it bad, but it's the other people that live here that made it bad, because people know about them. See? So it's not helping the situation when you throw somebody out of their community because you don't like them, or because you want to say something about them, or make up things, or you come up with all these this crazy protective orders and things, which there's no grounds for it anyway. But like I say, God's got a thing for you. It may not come right now, but it's coming, because He knows what you did, and He knows what all you people, when you concerted together, what you did as a collaborative effort to make this happen. So, all the other people that I have friends in here, I've got a lot of friends in here. I will keep in touch. I will call you. I will let you know what's going on down in North Carolina. I will let you know what's going on with the ministry down there, what we're doing. And I'll let you be a part of it if you want to. Come down there and visit us. I will be coming here to visit my uncle. And I will be keep in touch with all you all. The ones that are my friends in here. I got some real friends in here, too. True friends. And they're good people. There's a lot of good people here. But, like the ones that did this, God's got something for you coming. And it's not a threat. It's biblical. So if you want to go after that, go after God. Go after the Bible. Good luck. Because that's where that comes from, not from me. I'm not making any threats. I'm just telling you facts. What the Bible actually says to those who do folly. That's exactly what it says to me. It says to anyone else that's engaging in any type of that. But anyway, everybody, have a good, blessed Saturday. And don't worry, stay tuned. We'll have a good message tomorrow dealing with Mother's Day, and a good message for all mothers out there. Love you. Stay tuned for more updates. God bless everyone. Take care. This is Michael Sills from New Hunter Church of Christ and YouTube, Love FM.